In this video, I'm going to show you how to crochet this chunky easy beanie head. I'm going to use DK stitches, of which I'm going to alternate between front post double crochet stitches and back post double crochet stitches for this entire beanie head tutorial. And for the materials, I'm actually going to use 100% acrylic DK yarn, 4mm crochet hook, scissor and a measuring tape. And to start, actually you're going to start making a slip knot and chain 71, and that's for adult sizes, which is one size fits all. For kids, you can actually chain up to 61, or it depending to the size of the head you are making for. Therefore, go ahead and chain 71, or depending to the size of the head you are making. Actually, since I'm making for adult beanie heads, I'm going to chain up to 71. Once you are satisfied with the size of your chain, actually just flip your chain backward and you are going to work into those loops at the back. Instead of working into front loops or back loops, actually you're going to work into those loops that are at the back, and just single crochet into the second chain from the hook and continue making single crochet in each chain all the way until the end. At the end, chain 1 and turn your work. Make a front post double crochet stitch into that first stitch. The next stitch, make a back post double crochet stitch, and just continue alternating between a front post double crochet stitch and a back post double crochet stitch all the way until the end. I'll meet you once you reach the second last stitch to show you the next step. For the last stitch, double crochet on top of the last stitch. Instead of making a front post double crochet stitch or a back post double crochet stitch, just make a double crochet that you normally do, chain 1 and turn your work. And now you're just going to repeat the same thing you've done for the previous round or row. Which means for the first stitch, you're going to start with a front post double crochet stitch followed by a back post double crochet stitch, and just continue doing that all the way until the end by alternating between a front post double crochet stitch and a back post double crochet stitch all the way until end of the row. At the end, actually, just don't forget to double crochet on top of the on top of the last stitch instead of making a front post or a back post double crochet stitch. And you can repeat that as much as you want, depending on how thick you want the brim of your head to be. Once you're satisfied with the brim of your head, now it's time to join your parts together. Actually, you are going to join with a single crochet stitch. And you are going to start into that very first stitch as well as for the first stitch on the other side, and just continue making single crochet stitch all the way until the end. Actually, you are going to need about 3 to 4 stitches across to join your brim together before you start working in rounds to form your beanie head. Once you are done joining the brim of your head, now chain one and you can cut off the yarn if you are going to use a different yarn color. If you are going to use the same yarn color for the entire head, then do not cut off the yarn actually. Now you are going to work around the beanie head with the wrong side out. In my case, since I'm going to use a different yarn color, which means this one I have to cut it off before I start with a new color. To start with a new color, make a slip knot and you're going to start in one of the stitch. Slip stitch to attach the yarn and chain one to fully attach your yarn. Double crochet back into that same stitch and continue making double crochet stitch in each stitch all around until the end. Make sure at the end you must have a total of about 70 stitches. At the end of the round, slip stitch to join on top of the first double crochet stitch you started with, chain one to join your work, and you do not turn your work, or you can turn if you want, but in my case I'm not going to turn. So now you're going to make a front post double crochet stitch for that first 4 stitches. Now make back post double crochet stitches for the next 4 stitches, and actually you're just going to alternate between making 4 front post double crochet stitches and 4 back post double crochet stitches all the way until end of the round. At the end, just finish off by making 2 back post double crochet stitches for those last 2 stitches before slip stitch on top of the first double crochet stitch to join your work, chain one and do not turn your work. And just repeat that previous round all the way until your beanie head measures about 7 inches long, including that brim. Once it measures about 7 inches long, or once you are satisfied with the length of your beanie head, now it's time to decrease, actually just to be able to shape that upper part of the beanie head nicely. And to decrease, you are going to work the first 2 front post double crochet stitches 2 together as one, and the next 2 just as normal, and you're going to do the same thing for the next 4 back post double crochet stitches by decreasing the first 2 stitches and the next 2 just normal, and just continue alternating doing that, decreasing the first 2 stitches and the next 2 normal all the way until end of the round. You can only decrease for one row, which means the next row is actually just going to make normal front post double crochet stitches and back post double crochet stitches without decreasing. And for those ones that you have made as one, just remember you're going to work them as one stitch like you have done for the previous round that you have decreased, and you're going to repeat that until your beanie head measures at least about 9 inches long before you cut off the yarn. And actually, before cut off the yarn, make sure you have chained one, leave a long yarn tail for putting that upper part of the beanie head together, and you're going to do so with a yarn needle. To join the upper part of the beanie head after decreasing, actually you're going to use a yarn needle and you're going to work that actually between 2 stitches apart. And make sure your beanie head must be measuring 9 inches long for adults. And still you're going to do so with the wrong side out before you turn the right side out.